What's going on, y'all? I got another video packing the steel, keeping it real. Got the Sebenza 31 small. Now, the reason I got the small instead of the large was basically because I saw it was on Blade Binge and wasn't cheap, but comparative to new, I was like, oh, okay, I'll try it out. It's one of those that's kind of polarizing because it's not your typical, especially what's kind of like trendy now with the just like the drop shuttiness or whatever, and your multiple forms of deployment. The Sebenzas I know just come with the single thumb stud, and I'm gonna get into that later because that is part of my negatives. But if anybody asks me, is it worth it to buy one? I think if you're at this point in collecting knives, so say you're around that 5 to 600, or anywhere from $20 to $600, which I think is how much a large one costs, or it's 525. The difference between the inlay versions and the plain versions, price wise, I just don't get, because I think they charge you 525. I should have looked before I did this. 525 for plain on large, and then 650 for, I think, the elder inlays or whatever I saw. I think they were 650. I think that's kind of crazy, because that's not that much more work. But you I think if you get the plain one, like it just looks classy. I did put this on. I think I'm going through a little lanyard phase, which I don't know how it's gonna last, but how long it'll last or whatever. But the lanyards on smaller knives make sense, because that's just a little something. Because this knife is, it's open enough, so that's one thing. That's one saving grace about like a smaller knife that's designed like this. You have it's open, so there's nothing closing you off except this. But I mean, you just kind of brace right there. Where a lot of knives kind of trying to pin you up. I think of the uh, okay, I can't get it out right now because my mic is in the way. But like the 80/20, it has this little hump right here, and so it's got something like this, and so it locks you in. Also, this knife, this is a native 5. So this is one of the most comfortable smaller knives, especially the version with the S90V and the contoured carbon fiber, because it just makes this knife that's only, I think it's only like 6.8 inches, I think is the spec on it, but it's definitely not over 7 inches, and there's plenty of room. But if you want to go below the choil, this kind of clips up and gets in the way. This is not the most egregious one. This is just one that I saw right there, but this is an awesome knife. So, that's something that I think goes a long way, like especially with smaller knife designs, is not closing yourself off. And this is just a little something extra to grab on. And then whenever I put it in my pocket, if I don't put the clip in, like if I'm just at work and I throw it in real quick because I know I'm going to use it again, then I can just pull it out by this. It is hollow ground. This one is Magna Cut. I think it's 63 to 64, I think is their HRC range. I did notice that my grind, I think it's like my grind's a little thicker on this side, because I've checked my angles, and my bevels they're not even. But I mean, that could be user error too. So overall, there's not much to say on this one. You can, flick it, and I have played with it sitting on the couch. So it's not like you can't play with it. Like people say, you don't fidget with it or whatever. I kind of hate that word, but you can play with it. It's just different, and whenever you get into like kind of this territory, you kind of learn to appreciate different things. So it's not something I get hung up on. I actually like the clip. The only thing I don't like is that it's like sometimes whenever I go to disengage this, I'll push this over and I've got it all the way tight, but it'll slide. It's like it's not sitting perfectly. Like it's sitting on your lock bar relief. I mean your lock bar cutout. But it's also sitting on this. So sometimes this will want to like slide and fall over. Can you hear it? Let me see. And it now I don't care. But I mean some people might. You can't even see it. My camera's not gonna show it, but there's a scratch. Yeah. Can you see it? Yeah. So really that's my only negatives is the thumb stud. The clip seems like it played out and maybe I could fix that. I haven't played with it too much. So overall, it's an awesome knife. If you think that I think if you like knives enough, and when you get to collecting them, like this is something that you would appreciate, even if you just have like one. So I probably won't buy the large one, and then again, maybe someday I will. Uh, but overall, I do like it. I think it. I think the price on the smaller one it is high, but just American manufacturing, whenever it's done with like high tolerances and good finish work, like the blade finish is super good. I mean, this thing, the pivot can be backed out a lot, and it will still be solid. Now, I have heard people say about. I watched a video where one guy said something about up and down. He said it's a Sebenza, so it's got up and down. But I don't have any, so maybe I just got a good one. You would just have to watch more reviews on it or something. I just he said that, and I just thought to look one day, and it doesn't. So do with that what you will. But overall, man, it's a great knife. I recommend it if you got the cash. But it's something I think anybody, if you like knives, I think you'd be able to enjoy it. So, anyways, thank y'all for watching, and have a good day.